days after she gave birth, walked into the Capitol in Topeka to explain how their healthcare decisions hurt Kansas workers. We recognize Dolores Huerta and Cesar Chavez, who organized United Farm Workers in the Walk for Human Rights and Environmental Justice. In this walk, we must also recognize where learning comes from. We recognize that faculty and staff are core to our mission at K-State, a land-grant institution centered on service and outreach through research and education. K-State faculty and staff walk united in a love of learning and a love of our students. Not a romantic love, not a family love, but a love have access to public higher education, and we wish it was free. We care deeply that the education we provide is one based on tested knowledge, not popular opinion. We care deeply that we can help students recognize what they do not know, and that we can develop in them a desire to be lifelong learners. Faculty and staff at K-State clear paths of learning. Whether literally shoveling learners requires work of all kinds, and it requires imagination, looking beyond ourselves, beyond the present, beyond what is safe and comfortable. This is why we offer the study of modern languages, physics, art, dance. This is why we teach structural inequalities in American ethnic studies, sociology, gender, women, and sexuality studies. People find it difficult to act on what they know. To act is to be committed. To be committed is to be in danger. Any upheaval in the universe is terrifying because it so profoundly attacks one's sense of one's own reality. Today at K-State, let us strengthen those paths of learning. And then, let us find the courage to act on what we know. Thank you. It is now my great privilege to welcome to the podium Daryl Reese. K-State Ambassador and President of the Black Student Union.
To President Myers, Provost Mason, members of the cabinet, K-State students, faculty and staff, and members of this Manhattan community. Good afternoon. My name is Daryl Reese Jr., and I address you as one of your new K-State student ambassadors. And I am also the president of the Black Student Union. But today, I would like to address you as just a student, a black male student here at K-State. I'm not going to simply gaze over the fact that the incidents that have plagued our community, from the blackface incident that happened last year, to hateful slurs being written on Bosco Plaza, to a noose hanging from a tree, and racial slurs that were found on someone's car. Both incidents now being called misunderstanding or allegedly self-inflicted. These events and many more that never get reported are directly affecting our multicultural students, our LGBTQ students, and our Black students. We are hurt, we are discouraged, we are in pain. We know that we are living in trying times at Kansas State University and in our nation. These incidents cause us to think, are we safe? Who can I trust? Do people really care? So let me give you some encouragement today. Even though I'm hurting, I'm hopeful. Even though I'm saddened, I have not lost my faith, and you shouldn't either. Simply because if we lose our faith and we lose our hope, everything we have worked for will now be lost. During this day of unity, let us unite around the need for a multicultural student center. That we have fought and advocated for many years. Let us unite around the need of a cultural competency course to educate our student population and our faculty and staff. Let us unite around the need for need-based scholarships to help our students pay for the ever-increasing cost of attending this institution. Let us unite around campus safety so all students and staff can feel safe and secure as we walk around this campus. Most of all, we must continue to learn how we can dwell together in unity, to no longer be silent about what is wrong, and to support those who are being hurt. To my fellow multicultural students, and particularly my Black students, do not forget who you are. Do not forget your history and where you come from. Do not forget what you have sacrificed to be where you are right now. Let me tell you that you represent excellence. Despite your history, despite hatred, despite racism, despite how these incidents have affected you, you are still here. We will continue to fight the good fight. We will finish the race, and we will keep the faith. And most of all, we will graduate. Today marks a very important time here at K-State and in Manhattan, Kansas. In this very moment, today, we all have the opportunity to make a decision. If we are going to uphold what it means to be a family, it starts with loving one another as one has loved us. To say that I am my brother's keeper, to say that I am my sister's keeper. Once you step foot on this campus or in this community, no matter where you come from, the color of your skin, or your religious background, together we make a family. It should be your duty and your highest aspiration that the person to the left of you and to the right of you, or the person that does not look like you, feels that they are a part of this family and that they are safe in this family. Because most of all, the love of a family is life's greatest blessing. We know that it's time for change. It is time for action. And I know we will continue to make the necessary steps to do so. So K-State family, it's time to get to work. Now I have the honor of introducing our university's 14th and most esteemed President Richard Myers. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon, K-State family. As Mary answered, I think in her remarks when she said, "Why are we here?" I think she did an eloquent job of stating that, but let's just take a moment and think about how extraordinary this moment is. It is very unusual for a college campus to cancel classes so we can walk together. Much easier to do it at night, much easier to do it on weekends. More difficult, but more meaningful to do that in the middle of the day. And as Mary said, we're standing on this plaza that commemorates the 150th anniversary of our school for a reason. A place such as Kansas State is defined by its past as well as who we are today. But we are also, and more importantly, defined by who we want to become. We need to have an overdue conversation about who we want to become, what it is that we value. I guess the bells like that too. The injury to one of us is an injury to all. The joy of one of us is the joy of all. The honor of one of us is the honor of all. Or we called it terrorism. That's how terrorism works. But it's also how white supremacy, racism, anti-Semitism, homophobia work. It's about creating fear. It's about recruitment, recruiting vulnerable people, creating fear based on false evidence, and getting people to tear down their own institutions and their governance structures and their communities. We've seen things, as Daryl said, that can trigger conversations that go to unhealthy places. The fight, flight, or freeze syndrome. We've seen our students hurt by that. We should try not to go into these negative responses.